This video is for Dungeon Masters. I'm using a web-based software that I discovered called Notion.so, and it is free. You can create really cool databases, organizing your magic items, your players, your locations. If you're homebrewing a world, or if you're trying to wrap your head around an existing world like Eberron or the Forgotten Realms, it can be a lifesaver. I'm going to walk you through it, so stay tuned. Hey everybody, Jordan here. The PH is silent, and this video is just kind of a walkthrough of a Dungeon Master tool that I use. Now, a lot of people use this software, which is called Notion.so, and that is also the website, so you can go to Notion.so and it'll take you there, and you can sign up for a free account. I encourage you to do so. And within Notion, you can create databases, and then you can reference those databases back to other pages. And essentially what I'm doing is I'm creating a main database that has locations, NPCs, items, players, deities, anything you would really want to categorize. And then from there, you make subpages that reference that, but with a filter to only show you the items and things like that. It's not unlike OneNote, Microsoft OneNote, from what I'm told, but it's free. There is a paid version that allows you to have higher upload limits and also collaboration. So if you want to pay for this, then you could bring in other writers or dungeon masters to help you collaboratively create your world. It's not unlike a wiki. I really like it, and I want to give props to Sly Flourish because I was watching some of his game prep live streams on Twitch, and he was the one that started using this. And I was so enamored by it that I started diving in big time into Notion. And now I'm using it pretty much solely for my Rod of Seven Parts game. So let's get the motion going for Notion. I just have to click this. When you first start a new Notion, you're going to see this getting started screen. And they're going to talk you through, and here are some good videos. And I would encourage you to watch these videos just so you understand what it is. And they have a YouTube channel with a bunch of tutorials. I've been watching a lot of them, and the Reddit community is phenomenal. So if you want to check out Reddit/r Notion, really awesome. A lot of awesome people there that are showing their desktops and things like that. Their like Notion homepage and where it goes. So we're gonna delete all of this, and we're gonna add a page. And yeah, you can see my mouse. So over here we added a page. And we'll call this like our main page. And there's a lot of different things you can do. You can create databases and stuff like that. We're going to go empty with an icon. And it populates an icon up here. Now, these are just like emojis that we can pick. Or you can upload your own image and what have you. So we're going to use the little, the skull there. And Sly Flourish was talking about this, and I agree with him that it is really good to populate this with art. And if you can find some cool like fantasy art and things like that, that was a button that added a cover image. It kind of puts you in the zone for like, okay, we're working on my campaign now. Now they have some free photos here that you can use, but you can upload anything you want really. And they've got like a gallery of various things, like there's patterns and stuff. Also, this page, everyone that you start is going to be really narrow. And I don't personally like that, so you can go over here and go full width, and it kind of just brings it over here. So for this, we're going to start a brand new page, and it's going to be, I don't know, it could be anything like finances and notes and dogs I own and D&D games. From here, I can do, well, I just made a new one by accident. But from here, you can change them to different things. So I can turn this into text or a heading, a new page entirely, a numbered list, a bunch of interesting things. So I don't want to go through all of this, but like, let's just start with, we'll make a new one here, and we'll call it Jordan. And I'm going to turn it into a heading one. So it just makes it a little bigger. So I'm going to take all of these. Yeah, all of them too. and we're going to turn these into heading ones. So from here, I can drag these, and I can drag it all the way over here, and now we can start making a little like line of characters, which I like. And then from here, I can change the color, and let's say I want to change me to orange. Rikiri, you're going to be green. Within these, I can add subgroups. And so anytime you're on the main page here, you can hit / and it'll start bringing up blocks that you can do. And we can create a text block, which is just text, a page, a to-do list, and there's just a lot of really interesting things that you can do with this thing. So let's just try some of these. If we do a page, it's going to bring up a new page. This is my new page, which is exactly like what we had before. I can literally add anything here. If we go over here, we can see that we have our main page and our new page. I go back to the main page, there's my new page. It takes me there. So it's just like a link, kind of like a wiki. I can do a bulleted list, and we can say hello, hello, hello. We can go over to here to Rikiri now because she's got this own little subgroup, and I can say, you know what, I want a toggle list. Like, hello, this is a toggle. And then when we toggle it, I can add a bunch of stuff down here. So when you're working on this, you can say like, oh, I want to leave a little note about Rikiri, and then remind yourself that there's stuff down there. I can go to, like, you can add quotes. I think I was doing that up here. So I'm going to add a new one. Sometimes you have to add a new one and then drag it where you want it to go. Yeah. And so I went quote. Yeah. And then, you know, it's just kind of, this helps you get in the mind space of whatever you're doing. So back over here, we're going to go siren, we'll type /. And then what are some of the more interesting ones? Numbered list, call out, link to a page, which is linking to another page that you have in here. So if I go here and I say, I want to link to a page, these are the only pages I have, which is my main page, and then a default tabletop RPG thing I was working on, and then my Rod of 7 Parts game. So I can link to Rod of 7 Parts, and then if I wanted this to be my main page when I'm working on a Rod of 7 Parts, I can click that and it'll take me there. So we're going to switch. This is just, you know, casually working on it. Now we're going to switch to Rod of 7 Parts Prep, which is right here. And this is Jordan working on this for quite a while. And I have it similar. So I've added a custom icon here. This is a background from some of the art of Rod of 7 Parts. And like I can reposition this, so it's kind of cool to make it fit. And so I was thinking, how can I organize myself in with my games and this world and the story and all of this stuff? So I created what I feel like what helps me the most, and this is what I needed to access. So things for my next session. I have game resources, session archive, and the game outline as a whole. Campaign info, my NPCs, my villains, my organizations, magic items that I'm handing out, and locations. And then D&D Beyond is my player characters, and they're located on D&D Beyond. My homebrew items that I'm creating on D&D Beyond, the campaign page, and the encounters. And then finally, I have databases. And so I have a Rod of 7 Parts database and a player's database. So these two are the meat and potatoes of all of this. If I click Rod of 7 Parts database, we're going to go here, and this is all of the stuff that I've created. All of these are separate pages that can then be referenced back into Notion. And there's different views. So gallery view doesn't really do it. Gallery view is what I prefer, but table view is what you guys really need to see. So here's the name of what I've given it. Here's a tag that we've added and associated with, and then a URL to usually D&D Beyond, sometimes the Forgotten Realms wiki, and then various notes that I can add. Tagging it as an NPC or a location, or I've got monsters in here, organizations, deities, things like that. Then I can create filtered databases that reference that specifically. So I'm going to open up Rod of 7 Parts. You can see the whole thing here. If we go back to our main page and I say, Lagwin, goodbye, you're going to be databases now. And I want to go database. And so do I want to inline? No, because that's going to build a database within the pages that we're in. I would like a full page table. So we're going to do this. And so this is my new database. And with that, I'll add Jordan, and we'll say Siren, and Rikiri, and Shifter, Lagwin. I'm just using my characters. This tags thing here, I can change that, right-clicking, and I can change what kind of box I want. So I want a checkbox, and we're going to call that Are They Cool? And you know what? They are all cool, so we're going to check that so that I know that my players are cool. This just defaulted as files, but I don't want files. So this is going to be tags that I've created. And I'm going to go here, and I'm going to select multi-select for tags. Now I'm creating tags. And so I'll say, I'm the Dungeon Master. And then these other ones, like Siren here, is going to be a player. And so now I can copy that and highlight my other 3 players and copy that. And then Felix is a cat. But I'll add some text, and we'll call it, how are they? I don't know. You can call it whatever. So da-da-da-da-da. Now, from here, I can filter. So I'm going to filter and click Add Filter, and I'm going to add a new one. And we're going to select what column do we want to filter. Well, we want to filter tags here, and we want it to contain player. And so now I just see my players. And that's fun. We could change that filter to Are They Cool? Is not checkmarked, and we see that Felix the cat is the only one who's cool. After you've built this, you can then reference it. So that's what we're doing over here. So if I go back to Rod of 7 Parts database, here's my database of all the stuff that I've been working on. And then from there, I've created these. So when I click NPCs, I see all of the NPCs that I've created. So this is the Rod of 7 Parts database, but it is filtered by the tag NPC. So I will only see them here. And the cool thing is if I go to NPCs and I click new, I can add Felix the cat. And he's going to be a new NPC. And I can add a URL to usually a D&D Beyond monster that allows me to have stats for them, is what I do there. And then here I can add all the interesting stuff I want. So this is my cat, and I love him. Blah, 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 blah. Now, if I close that, we just have Felix the cat, and there's nothing here. And Sly Flourish was talking about like the importance of icons, and I think that's true. So if I click this, I can add /image, or I could drop it in. But if I go /image, it's like, hey, do you want to add an image? And I say, yes, I do. And we're back with the magic of the internet. So now if I go choose image, I have a picture of Felix here. I can hit open, and it will save it. And I can resize this and a bunch of stuff, so it's kind of like there. But the important thing about having this picture is now I have a picture here. And so as I'm looking through all of this, I can be like, oh my gosh, that's Felix the cat. That's so cool. Magic items and treasure. Originally, I had this in with the main Rod of 7 Parts database, but I realized, if I go to default view here, I realized I wanted to add attunement slots. And attunement doesn't work. Like I can add attunement, but it doesn't really make sense with locations and stuff. So I decided to make this its own thing. So I could also add the owner, like who owns the item at the moment, and then I can add various tags and stuff. So this is, I don't know, it's just really cool for me. So I can go back to gallery view. If I'm in gallery view, I can go to properties, and I can select which properties I want to see. So I want to see the owner, so I'm going to activate that. And now when I look at this, I can be like, oh, Rikiri's the one with the Rod of the Pact Keeper. And Cloak of Protection, Lagwin has that. Same with locations. I've created all these different locations. And then I made player characters. And so here, and I stole this from Sly Flourish. This was awesome. So here's player characters. And I created, here are my characters and which player it is. And then I put their skills here. So I know P perception and it stands for passive. So I know their passive perception, investigation, and insight. I know I'm kind of tracking how much gold they have. I put their Twitter handles here because I was like, I don't know, I just kind of want to play around with it. And then, for instance, Siren, I can go here and I can click her D&D Beyond link, and I can just get a quick overview of Siren and like, okay, yeah, she's got these things. Okay, that's cool. Let's go back here. And then here's the database again, but it's with photos because I thought that was fun. Then we have our sessions. So this is a session archive here. So this is our new session that we're going to play on Wednesday, and then I'm keeping older sessions here. So when I'm done with this, well, first of all, we'll create a new session. So I create a new session. It's going to pop open this template that I created. And again, this is all based on Sly Flourish stuff. So I put the date of like, today's the 6th, we'll say, which it is as I'm recording this. I still haven't updated that. I don't like that. And a recap of the date for the last game. Monsters and encounters. This link takes me to D&D Beyond, to my encounters, where as I'm building encounters, I build one and I'm like, this is an encounter that I may run, and I just kind of link it here. Actually, what I do is I type it out. So this would be like a demon fight. And then I'll highlight it, and you go to link, paste, link, and you've got your demon fight. So when I'm running this session, I have this page open, and I'm going over the things while we're playing to really figure it out. When I'm done with this, I go back to Session Archive. So let's say we played on the 6th, and it's done now. I'm going to grab here, and I'm going to take it down to new, and I'm going to drop it. And it says, would you like to remove sorting? And yeah, I think I have to in order to get it to work right. And here I can keep just a backlog of like what we ran. So it's like, oh, I think we talked about, like, there was a demon heist, right? And so if I open my demon heist, I've got the recap from what happened before, problems I've made for myself, the scenes I'm going to create, NPCs. We had a special guest player, Sarah the Hype Goblin, on this episode. Monster fights that we had, information, and then further down the story, this is things to just help me. I really like this. I think it's really cool. I think it's fun. And I want to impart what I've built over the last month to you guys. So down below, I'm going to kind of clear out this Rod of 7 Parts business, and it's going to be called Tabletop RPG Campaign. And so here's what I'm building for you guys. Now, this was inspired by Sly Flourish's videos on Notion.so, and it's use for Dungeons & Dragons campaign organization. I am going to have databases created for you. We're going to have linking databases and basically all the stuff that I had set up, and a lot of this Sly Flourish built as well. And then we're going to share it. And when I share to the web, anyone with this link, which is down below in the description, you will be able to hit duplicate up in the top corner. And from there, it will add to your Notion. This whole thing will be yours, your database, everything, and you can customize it however you want. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, do all the other things. Normally I'm gonna have I'm just clicks. There are other videos on the channel. If you are interested more in dungeon mastering specific campaigns that 5th edition has released, I have a campaign explained series that I am updating as we go. And if you like this and plan on using it, tell a friend, share this video with other people. I will see you guys all in the next video. Take care.